Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Are we ready for the Heart of Earp panel this morning? Yeah. All right, so let's get right to it and bring everybody out. First up, Emily Andras. We've got Melanie Scrofano, Tim Rozon, and Kat Barrell. You're doing so good. So sorry.
My midriff was cold, so Tim was giving me his coat.
Midriff. Did you have to grab a jacket?
Whoa.
Well, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, of course. 9 a.m., keeping it classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to sit next to Tim?
No.
Hi.
How are you guys doing this morning? Good?
Morning.
Yeah, really good.
How's the con been going? Great? You guys having fun? Back together?
Oh, yes. Sorry, us? Yes.
We
Yeah, sorry. I'm so amazed there's so many people up after Saturday night and the cosplay and everything. Oh my God, you're all awake. Sort of.
Very impressive. Sort of.
Sort of.
Here.
we had dinner last night and we're still recovering. I think.
Yes. Yes.
Too many drinks?
No, not even. We're just tired and
We're just all parents and we go to bed early.
Yes.
So I wanted to start back in season 1, kind of looking back before we get to season 4. So Emily, you kind of talked about it a little yesterday, but what attracted you to the graphic novel at first and then bringing it to life?
Honestly, I talk about this a lot. When I picked up Bo Smith's original comic, which you should all get because he's an extraordinary person and it's delightful. And there's so much juju in it that you see at the heart of what makes Earp what it is now. It is different. It was in the 90s. I always say very lovingly that Winona had like boobs out to here and she had like band-aids over her boobs. And like when she was fighting a mummy, I was like, she's gonna fall over, she's gonna fall over. But she never did because she was that awesome. So number 1, boobs was what attracted me to it. No, just kidding. Really what attracted me to it was just so, I loved Westerns growing up. I loved the idea of this descendant of Wyatt Earp, who was a woman and badass. I love the idea of this black badge that was this monster hunting kind of X-Files division of a secret government agency. And what really got me excited was the idea of being able to bring something back to Calgary to film, because I grew up in Calgary. A lot of genre, I talk about this, is very internal, set in space, kind of claustrophobic. This was a chance to do something that was kind of epic and awe-inspiring. Yeah, I honestly got goosebumps, and I do get sent a lot of stuff. I'm lucky enough to get sent stuff, and I just was like, oh my God, there's something incredible in Bo's work, and there still is, so yeah.
And then for Mel, Tim, and Kat, what attracted you guys for the audition, and how was it going in for that the first time?
It was awesome.
So fun.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was like, I went in for dolls first. That's what I'll always remember, and I loved it. And I already was like, the show is going to be amazing. I need to be on the show. And they're like, you're not getting dolls. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, but they would love to see you for Doc Holliday. And I'm like, Doc Holliday? Because I couldn't understand, because the first scenes I did was dolls. It was in present day. It was like dolls in Waverly with a sniper rifle. And that was the scene I did.
I'm totally gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
I thought you were like, I think I should read for Doc. Am I misremembering that?
That's not the way it went down in my life.
Well, you have an incredible agent, because they were like, he really thinks he should read for Doc, and I was like, yeah, he should.
Paul Hemron, love you, buddy.
And like, of course, but like, I honestly might be remembering this incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure they were like, because I don't think you were off the table for dolls. Your dolls was great.
Yeah.
I know you're modest, and it's early. But I think that they said he would like to read for Doc. And I was like, okay, sure, I like that. That's bold.
Well, I knew when they said Doc Holliday, I was like, dolls who?
I did not mean to put you on the
I
spot.
was
But
like,
yeah.
100%.
But
I was
like,
well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, I learned your lines in 2 minutes. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
yeah.
Because when you just
They're
connect,
simple.
when you can know,
just kidding.
there's some stuff when you connect with them,
Yeah.
you're just like, I could do this. Get me in the room. I was like, get out of my way.
Yeah. Yes.
I cannot wait to do
Mm-hmm.
this. Even when I sent that first tape,
Oh yeah.
like I knew that for that one I knew. I was like, I did a good one. That one I did a good one. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
You did
it
good.
was awesome.
Mel, what about you going in?
Hi, Nora.
Oh my God, hello. Look where we are.
Remember New York Comic Con?
I always will.
For me, so I don't think I've ever, so I can bring new memories because I don't think I've ever said this, but so I had a horrible experience in an acting class.
Oh yeah.
And, okay, I said it to you, but I haven't said it to you. So,
No, I love
with,
Oh yeah.
Hate them.
Yeah.
Awful.
hate that guy.
Yeah.
And he was just like, and then, so it was the first class, and he was basically like, I think he rips you apart to like build you back up, only he never built me back up. So, and it was the first class out of 6, and I was like, sorry.
Wait,
this
you
is-
only got to the first class?
This was the first
Okay.
class, and he made us do this assignment that he wrote.
Cat's
was-
nodding at the.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, I just know the generic acting teacher
Yes.
wanky assignment that you probably
Oh
had to
yeah.
Okay. So I did and I was all right, but like I wasn't bad, but I wasn't great. It was not good material, and it's early. I'm tired.
I wasn't there. I'm gonna
I
help
know.
You, but
I know.
Was he nice to you about it or not?
Ah, thank you.
There you
You're
go.
such a writer. You're a
I know, I'm
storyteller.
like,
You know how it works.
yeah,
You knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, so so he was very mean in front of everybody. Like he was just like told me I was too much, like too big, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Have you met me? No, you haven't." And then in front of everybody, he was just basically telling me like how much better actors are in Europe
Oh,
and
sorry.
Australia and so I was like, I stopped him, which I never do. I'm very nice, but I was like, "Are you telling me I should move to Europe? Because I don't understand what your point is."
Yeah.
And
I've heard the acting teachers are better there too, but I'm not there. So we are.
why
both
weren't you there? Why
I'm,
weren't
I'm
you
coming
there?
with you next time from now on.
Fuck,
No,
now you
it's
know.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for that.
No,
That's
please
amazing.
continue.
Comeback.
We
7
can
years later.
email him. We can email him.
Yeah, he tried adding me on. Anyway.
Oh, I bet he did.
So anyway, so I continued the class and I was you know that thing where you die inside? But I
Yes.
was like, I'm not letting this motherfucker tear me down. So then I did the class and then people messaged me from the class and were like, "Are you gonna come back?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm coming back and I'm doing every single
so
class.
Winona.
And I'm gonna cry after, but I'm fucking doing it and I wanted to quit acting. So then Winona comes along.
No.
And I was like, there's no way I'm getting this because I'm you know that thing? And then I got a call back and I was like, great. Because you go in and you look at the list of people who are on the thing and you're like, great. And then I got a screen test. And it just was that thing where I'm like, I'm not getting this because I was in a, in that
Like a
place.
funk, yeah.
I was in such a funk of like, I could go into law. And then I
That was
would
the
be good at
immediate
that.
backup?
Yeah. 'Cause I like to argue. Anyway, and then Winona came. So you've heard the other stories. You didn't hear that story.
That's a good one.
It was a shitty.
We hate.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat, what about you going into the audition and then obviously getting Nicole later on?
I auditioned for Winona and Waverly and then Nicole. And I remember saying to Ray the night before, I was like, I am never gonna book this. Like, I can't play a strong bad. I feel like I broke a record. I've told this story, but I was like, I can't play a strong, like, cop. No one's gonna believe I'm a cop because I had spent all of theater school with people telling me like, you're just the ingenue. You'll only ever be the like cute girl next door with no substance. And so, yeah.
Oh my God, did you
go
have
to
dance-
acting school if you really want to like feel some stuff? But
If you wanna feel some
so
stuff.
I believed that narrative like pretty strongly, and I was like, I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm so like the whole thing. This whole thing has been a perfect example. I'm like this whole thing, like everything has been a perfect example of like never count yourself out, but then also like. You have no idea what's coming for you. You know, you just, you don't know. And so you may as well go into it with your full heart and try, because like the world is going to be so against us in so many different ways. So like, why don't you remove one person from that equation, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that was like a lesson, a huge lesson for me. So.
We kind of talk about, people talk about filming shows obviously outside of LA, outside of New York, and how you're really filming in a bubble. Did you guys kind of feel that with season 1 and kind of just doing the work and then being able to see obviously everything that came out of season 1? How is it going back and filming? How is it filming season 1 and just kind of, you know, doing the work, writing it in very much a Calgary kind of bubble?
I mean, I was going back and forth more than you guys. Oh no, I was living in Calgary. God, it was so long ago. I was like 11 years old. It was wild, but there's also, I really love that. Like, there's something really fun because obviously we all really love each other and fell in love. I think that first season in particular, it was hard. It was hard, like in a lot of ways. I can't speak for you guys, but like, it was hard, I'm sure. It was exhausting. But, and you're trying to figure out the show and you're dealing with networks and like a billion producers and stuff like that and fighting for people. And my family was there, which was hard because they're like, I actually can't see you at all, ever. But it was incredible. It was incredible to be there together. Just to like very early on, oh, too early to cry. I just like sensed the dedication of everyone on the show. Like all these guys were so in and kind of fell in love, I think, with Alberta and the crew. And I saw them together just like hanging out and adopting crew members and their favorites. And so it was lovely. The only thing that's hard is I specifically remember, like, look, the show is really weird, and I was so proud of everybody, but I remember going to see my mom when it was all done and hadn't aired and said, I really think the cast is incredible, but I don't know, Katie. I was like, I don't know, man. It's really weird. I don't know if anyone's going to get it. Like, genuinely was like, I think this might be a one season something. So, because you just don't know. I always say, like, I kind of feel like we were running around in the Calgary Rockies doing skits a tiny bit, you know what I mean, together. But it was hard but wonderful being together. I don't know.
I had the same, like, this could be just one season, not because of the show itself, but just because I was like, I don't feel lucky enough to be on something, but I'm so lucky to have had this one season.
Yeah.
So, like, I was at peace with it. Like, I was just like, holy crap, we did one season of the funnest, like, this has been the funnest I've ever had, and I've never felt more connected with people than with acting. Like, it was all just so, that bubble for me was like, if this is my bubble, is one season of this experience, I'm like, how lucky am I? Yeah.
Do you guys remember the moment where it was kind of like the we made it moment for you? Do you have one of those you remember where you realize like, oh, people are watching the show and we're, you know, experiencing it with a bunch of people? Kat, do you have one?
I mean, there was a big one for me at Klexicon. Dom, Emily, and I did a panel, and we walked out, and there was like
2,000 people.
hundreds of people there.
2,000 people. I think it was 2,000 people.
It was bananas.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
like I didn't really understand. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like, this whole experience has just been like all surprises.
Yeah.
And I think that was a moment where I was like, but you had such scope of like, with Lost Girl, of like fandom, and like you guys had been in big shows before, but I had
But I was
never-
bluffing. I was so bluffing.
Yeah.
Like not in a million years.
Yeah.
Not in a million years. I think. Sorry. Like,
No,
honestly
no,
though, like I
it's,
would never have been arrogant enough to. I just thought they might like you quite a bit.
Well, no, but
and some of you guys
but I
quite
just
a bit.
mean like the.
I was like,
That's sweet.
I've seen you guys. So I was like, yeah. No, I just, please keep going.
No,
I'm so
that's
sorry.
it. That's it. I just was. That was a big moment for me. Where I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have a moment like that?
Yeah, and I mean, it was like the best moment ever, too. It was the first time we went to San Diego.
Yeah.
Was so incredible.
Yeah.
And I remember we did that the first time we went to go meet everybody at IDW.
Yeah.
And fans came. There's some of you are here, which is insane. And I remember it was Dom and myself, Shamir,
Yeah.
and we looked out the window, and you guys were lined up, and like I didn't even know people were watching the show yet. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And there was cosplays, and it was a Waverly that we saw first, and we were all like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it all hit me because I was already like the happiest kid in the world. I was at
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con on a show at San Diego. I was like, this is incredible. And then it kind of hit, oh my God, people are watching our show that we're on at Comic-Con, and they're dressing up as their characters. I'm going to die. So it was pretty amazing.
Mel, do you have
What
one?
about Mel?
Like the one that was a similar moment where I think I got there late to San Diego, and so I was joining, but we got the tour of IDW.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is a real company. Like,
They make things.
yeah, like they have street cred. Like, I go, okay. So then they took us to Comic-Con, and there were people, and I was looking around at the other shows, and I was like, we're a show here.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And yeah, no, it was. I think Comic-Con just because it's so iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a moment from any season that you'd like to go back and kind of relive, refilm, anything that really sticks out to you?
Like to fix it? Or,
Emily, what would you like to
or
fix?
just because it was so joyful?
Yeah, so joyful.
I remember this. I don't think any of us would want to go back there because it was so physically trying. But I remember the day we were shooting the graveside scene for Dolls,
Oh my God.
and it was freezing. But it
I
has
know,
a
I'm
funny
sorry.
turn. It was freezing, like the coldest of the cold. I know we say that all the time. And we had to get snowmobiled up. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, it's awesome.
We were
It was so
up a
cool.
hill. The whole crew and cast had to get brought. Like you couldn't get there with a vehicle other than like a snowmobile. So we go up to the top, and we're in this like ice fishing tent with heaters, and we're all really in the moment of the. Yeah, do you know where I'm going with this one? Yeah, and we're all like very in the moment and like really mourning this character that we've all loved so much and our characters love so much, and Emily comes in the tent. We hadn't seen her in a while. She's like, "What's up, guys?"
I did a high kick. Over my head. Oh my God.
But it was more the camaraderie of that day because it was like the crew and all of us, and Emily was there, and it was just like
You really read the room.
yeah.
I had just been on a fucking snowmobile. I was awesome.
In fairness, yeah.
I don't know what their problem was. All the crying. We had just snowmobiled up to a gravestone. It was awesome.
But I just remember that day because there was such a camaraderie on set of like, it was a hard day. And those are the days on Winona where like, you just feel the team so much.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people were more on the team. And some people.
But it was, that moment was like but that moment was the epitome of the show.
Yeah, it kind of was.
It is. It
And
totally
I
is.
remember Rozon, everyone had like their headphones on, listening to music, crying. And Tim just looked at me and was like, Andras. My God. You guys probably don't remember that, but that was the first scene we shot in that episode. Do you remember that? Like that was like heavy scheduling. We were like, okay, so the first thing we're gonna do at 7 a.m. was mourning Dolls' death. Like that was a lot. And I was like, I hope no one shows up and does a high kick and, and really gets to. Thank you for saying
No,
that.
it was more the moment of
Yeah.
with
That
the
was such a
team.
beautiful scene. Oh
It was
my
a beautiful
God. that was
scene,
such a
and our
beautiful
crew was
scene.
just like killing it as usual. And I loved the camaraderie of the day. was very special because we were dealing with something like really important.
Yeah.
Everyone showed up, especially Emily.
Oh,
Yeah.
we all mourn differently.
It's true. They
It's
do
true.
say that.
They do say that. I was in shock.
They do say that.
Tim, do you have a favorite moment you'd like to go back and relive, refilm?
Thank you.
I mean, so many,
No, I love
but
it.
I think I would just go maybe the flashback ones with anytime we were in that set. There was actually like this western town set near the homestead. Like it's incredible. I don't know who built it there or why they built it, but it's amazing.
Incredible.
And you can film inside it and outside it. It's like super awesome, and it's just like I'm dressed as a cowboy in a cowboy town. It's like these days are amazing. And like I had a special day when Bo was there, and like we had fun stuff there. Yeah, I love that little. Anytime we got to go back to that town, or that's where the homestead was. The studio was good, but I think anytime we went out there, there was just a special feeling out there. I loved it up there. It was awesome.
Mel, what about you?
Too many to, like all of, but I feel like, and I'm totally playing favorites, but anything with Paolo Bardsman.
Yeah.
I'll just go back and shoot anything with Paolo Bardsman because I was talking to Charlotte yesterday about like, have you ever felt so free to just come as you are? He's the opposite of where you're
But
just
ironically European. So shut the fuck up, that guy. Yes. Right?
why are you the smartest person
I'm not.
I've
I'm
ever
just
met?
so delirious. I'm so delirious.
Yeah. So anything with him because he puts humans first. The crew would do anything for him because he's like, on the coldest days, he's like, meat freezes at this temperature. Like he would just yell that. Guys, meat freezes at this temperature.
Very motivating.
Yeah, and so he was basically like, let's hurry up. Like, let's do what we have to do if we can only do this once, let's do it once, because if you're too cold, we stop. Like, he's just so humane, and so you just always feel so safe. So, yeah, and him in combination with this show, I mean,
magic.
it's magic, yeah.
Tim kind of touched on it, but obviously the sets in Calgary, like using those, it's basically another main character on the show. Was there a set when you finally got to set and saw it built that just kind of blew you away? I know, Emily, you talked about the garden a little yesterday.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little and seeing it go from the page to the screen?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was Shorty's. Walking into Shorty's blew my mind. Like, they built a whole ass bar, like in a studio, and you're just like, you never should get over that as a person who writes and show runs, that like the care and the craftsmanship and the wood and all the details and all the stuff that was sourced, all the Wyatt Earp memorabilia, and there's an old saddle there, and just like the detail, and someone's like polishing something that's like way in the background that you're probably never gonna see. Like, I find it so moving, just the amount of work and care that the crew puts into it. And you just wrote like, Shorty's bar, kind of wood, you know? Like, I don't know, I find that very, like, it really takes a team, and that's my jam, just that feeling of collaboration. So when I walked into Shorty's and they had built it, I was like, oh fuck, like they really did it, like they really did it. So for me, that, I don't know, there was something about that set that just like blew my mind. Yeah. The homestead too was beautiful. The homestead. I was thinking about, like, speaking of playing favorites, like I was thinking, would I go back to a moment? Maybe the finale a little bit, like knowing now that you guys loved it the last day, because I was like, soak it in the last day, like the wedding and the motorbike stuff, and now I almost would go revisit it because it was such a beautiful day. But the homestead too. How about you guys? Do you have a favorite location or set?
Yeah, did you have a favorite location to film at too?
I really loved what they did with Black Badge with Jeremy's stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I always loved going in, and I loved the continuation, the detail that the art department would do, where it was like the cases would continue on the boards, and you could go in and like look at the story that we were doing because of what, like, the connections that they were doing in Jeremy, and he had like this really cool test tube station with all these weird things, and it's the
detail, like
yeah.
just someone would lovingly be drawing stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, like that's such good work. Yeah.
Yeah, the Eve set was very cool too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was inside, and like I just remember being in there, being, this is crazy. And there was water in there, and the tree, and it was Paolo, and the way they shot it was with a weird camera that you never really knew where it was. So you didn't know what you were doing anyway, which was kind of amazing. And then I'd run up these stairs and hide in a corner, and then wait and come back down again. It was just, but I couldn't believe that it was in the studio when I got in there, because it was also like, like the studio's like this, you know, and it went. I was like, this is incredible, and they built it all. And then I don't know, a week later it was
Gone.
I never even got to see
who knows what
it.
it was? Jeremy's office, you know. It's like it's incredible.
Can we use the wood?
I saw it on TV.
You know, that's how I saw it too.
Yeah, but I would have loved, because I did watch it, and I was like, how did they? I would have loved, and then you guys were talking about it. Like, have you seen this?
Did you not see it in person, Mel?
No.
I know. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We'll bring it
You
back
can
for the
go
movie.
high kicking into that set.
No. No. Hurts my vagina to high kick.
You got it. Not if you were on a snowmobile for a long time. You're good. You're good. You're,
Massages.
you feel amazing. You're like, I'm good.
Obviously, Winona Earp also had a lot of amazing guest stars come through. Was there a guest star role you guys would have loved to have played?
Oh, great question.
Or Emily, is there one you would have loved to have written more of, like for them to come back?
So many.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's tons. Like, I never got sick of Michael Eklund, ever. Like, I would have always had more of him. Yeah, like someone was talking about his work in season 1 and how it just ground the whole show, Mikey Eklund.
Oh, yeah.
And like I got kind of teary-eyed and I was like, fuck, he was so good. Like he was just so good. And another example of like just elevating it from what was written to like so much better. Like just like his first scenes with you in the first couple episodes, like I would have loved to bring him back to play someone totally different. Maybe that's more of an actor question. I believe the Silk Witch. I wouldn't mind setting her up with someone. I think Mercedes Gardner deserves a spin-off. You know, I like them all. I like them all. Even some of the ones that are gone. You know, I hope Levi and Fish are okay. I get sad. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if they are.
Did you guys have a favorite guest star you guys got to play with? Or one you loved seeing your character with?
Or when you want to play.
I mean, Jan Arden.
Oh, yes.
Hilarious.
Oh, yeah. She's so good. Good choice.
Like such an incredible person, and like as an artist, I think watching Jan transition from like Jan is an incredible musician and like a Canadian icon. And it's really scary. Like the longer you stay in one artistic lane, the scarier, because the more you know, like naivety is such a freeing thing. Because the more you know about someone else's art form or just job, the more you're like, I could never do that. That's a terrifying prospect. So the fact that Jan is so seasoned in what she does, and then was like, yeah, I'm down to like come and play in this crazy world, and like just 1,000% in, was so inspiring watching another artist do that so fearlessly and like unapologetically. And I found that like a really incredible experience to just be a witness to, and also just like so much fun, those scenes. So that's one that stands out for me for sure. Yeah.
Tim, what about you?
Well, to answer the first question, I would have loved to have played the Julian. Well, is it Charlie or Julian? That was what I was kind of. That's what I was
Both.
checking with the boss with.
Both,
Yeah.
both, yes, yeah.
I think that character would have been.
Winona's boyfriend, way
Yes.
his fault.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And just the protector, and I mean, in the end, it's like when I read 412, Doc literally was in some way an angel. But I just remember that was tough that season. You know, I was.
Season 3,
yeah,
yeah.
and where Doc was, and then we had this new guy that this one liked, and he had freaking giant angel wings throwing
Well, you had a
bad
hat.
Doc for being, and I was like, shit. that guy's pretty cool. So that would have been fun to maybe play that character. And then for guest stars that we worked with, I think for me the thing that kind of made me happiest was, I won't pick anybody in particular, but the sentiment that they told me about working with us and coming to our set and saying like, she's the bomb. Like, your guys' show is so much fun. You guys are so chill. Every time they said that, I was just like, oh, like I felt so happy. Because I've been on sets as a guest star where you don't feel that. And it's like, we're not going to do that. I'll tell you, if you come here, come on in. You kind of have to, because if you don't, you're going to stick out. But yeah, so that's kind of like what made me most proud with the guest stars, was just that feeling.
Mel, how was it playing with Charlotte in the finale?
Okay. Well, since you asked, like, I mean, it was right there. I just was looking through our texts because I'm a hoarder, and I kept them, and I was like, I manifested you in 2017, and in 2017 I had, I don't know, said something on some platform, and then she was there in, I don't know what year, and no, it was really great because Charlotte and I did a movie together that was really, she really shaped who I became as a performer because of her freedom and like even the way she played.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Like, what happened?
Yeah, it was amazing. Paolo Barsman was like,
Yeah.
This is happening. This is amazing.
Well, here's what she said to me.
It was so incredible.
I know, and here's the thing about Charlotte. She's like, I didn't know how else to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you say it. And she's like, well, I thought I would just do it in the rehearsal, and if they didn't like it, I'd be like, oh, I wasn't actually going to do it like that. But that's how but she's so brave in that way, and so she's where I learned to like embarrass myself and be like, I wasn't gonna do it that way. Like, she's where I learned to kind of take risks, and she was the model for that. And so to have, I think, like, I just watched her work, and I think I was just laughing most of the time, and she kept a straight face, and it was just such a nice reunion. Yeah.
That day was the craziest day.
I was going to say,
Don't
Tim, you were like a
understand
bystander.
the energy, the two of them.
You must have been like, where?
Charlotte, I had never met, was doing this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? But luckily, I was there for pretty much the whole day with you. Yeah. Dom showed up, and they were like, what the fuck is going on around here? Like, the whole vibe was already just nuts.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Charlotte and I are a lot together.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Mel, I'm assuming there were a ton of takes where you were just laughing hysterically.
There's one in the show.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in the episode.
You're like, when Charlotte starts singing, you are just like, you both are like, what the fuck is happening? But like, I don't think you're acting. I love you, but it's the one moment where you're like, is the camera rolling?
It's in. And I'm so happy it's in because you
so
captured
good. It's so good.
captured a moment of me being like, fuck it, I can't keep a straight face. I can't do it.
It's so
I
good.
won't do it.
It was so
Nope.
good.
Yeah.
No, it's really
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you go do ADR and we're just like, I am fully laughing in this
Yeah,
scene?
yeah.
Yeah. But it was great because it was the joy of like, this is the show that we get to do together.
Yeah.
And the joy that it brings, and what other show can you watch someone dressed like that do that performance?
With that porcelain face, and then that voice comes out, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of diving into season 4, Emily, obviously writing a finale for any season is very difficult, especially as we know, like, another season was never promised.
Yeah.
How was it writing the season 4 finale? How was it writing the season 4 finale and kind of making sure it was a big culmination of basically everything for this show?
It was hard, and I was extra tired. Like, season 4, I really love season 4. I hope you guys like it. But But listen, it was hard. We waited a long time to do season 4, and then halfway through, of course, we stopped because of COVID. And then we came back to film in the summer, which, to be honest, you would have thought was easier, but I don't know if it was easier necessarily. Just you're hot. Everybody was kind of scared. If we're truthful, we were one of the first productions that came back. We loved each other, but we couldn't be together quite the same way. We were wearing masks all the time. Everybody, it was really hard, if I'm being honest. We couldn't have extras. Like, I promise I'm going to stop complaining. I'm just saying it was challenging. I was flying back and forth, which was kind of terrifying. I was like, I really don't want to be on a plane. These guys were being amazing. So by the time I actually did sit down to write I wrote 4:11 and 4:12, which was so stupid too. Like, you're just so tired as the showrunner by that point. You're like, this is really dumb. And I did put a lot of pressure on myself for the finale. I was like, this really has to be good. So I was cranky. The hardest part for me actually was I knew all the emotional beats. The hardest part was like all the gobbledygook, and by that I mean like what was the supernatural shit, like the haunted wedding dress. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I need a case to get everybody together and get Doc and Winona fighting, and what's happening to Way Hot in the meantime. The wedding stuff was actually kind of easy, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Not easy, but I was like, this I feel in my gut, and there was some of it that I came out really easily. One of the things I wrote that I love, that to me is the whole show, and I put so much pressure on Tim in the moment, I don't know if you remember this, is the speech that Doc gives, where he says, they say life is long, but it's actually really short. And like, I wrote it just once, and I was like, that's the show, and that's the fandom. Like that idea about finding your people, finding one person. And I think I went up to you. I was so emotional. And you were emotional. You were like, I can't even look at Tim.
I couldn't look at him.
You were like, I can't rehearse. You were like, I can't rehearse.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
And I went up to you, and like Tim's always very like, you're very good about being able to be jokey and then turn it on and set. And I was like, this speech is really important to me. Don't fuck it up. Which I never do. I'm so sorry, but I was so. And you were like, what? This one? This is it? And of course, incredible, right? Incredible. You're like, I don't even remember. So obviously it didn't fuck you up. And then the vows I knew would be so important. The Nedley scene, like, but that stuff was actually kind of easy. I'm not bragging. I'm like, you know what's going to happen, what needs to happen. And I've lived with these characters like they're my children for so long that you're like, I know what I, as a fan, would want to see. And do you know how rare it is, I would say, to be able to do that, to give the story such a satisfying, indulgent ending in a weird way. I'm very happy we did that. I'm very happy. And of course, the mailbox at the end, it's weird to be like, the ending is a mailbox. Suck it, Game of Thrones. It's the best ending ever. But you got it. You all got it. So thank you for that.
Were there any moments from the finale or 4:11 that you ended up having to cut, or did everything basically make it in?
There's always stuff you have to cut. Like the vows, I wrote a lot, I think, just because you want to give a lot to work with. I don't know. Do you remember doing more? I'm not sure. A little bit,
but I couldn't
just
tell
a
you
little.
what
And
they
there's
were.
and then like I always do this thing where I'm guilty of like putting in a lot of jokes, and then I'm like, no, maybe Emily, you should just let people be comfortable with the emotion. People don't have to be joking all around. 11, like, if I'm being totally honest, feels kind of rushed to me. Like, oh my God, Waverly's a dark angel, and then she's not a dark angel, and then like if I had more episodes, I probably would have stretched that out. But nobody liked Dark Angel Waverly, so I'm like, whatever. They were like, can you guys get her out of that costume as soon as possible? And I'm like, yes, I will. Let's get them out of that costume. But no, not really, to be honest. There was, I'll tell you one thing, and then I'll stop talking, I promise. When I pitched the finale to our friend Josh from Sci-Fi, I pitched the whole thing, and he's a very practical dude, not very emotional, and I pitched the mailbox scene, and then there was one more scene I pitched, and then I was like, and then blah, 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 blah. And he was totally quiet, and I was like, oh, he hates it. But he was actually choked up, and he was like, it's the mailbox. You don't need that other scene.
What's the other scene?
Yeah, what's the other scene?
Eve is still out there. So maybe it was Eve coming into town looking like someone we know. You guys want the mailboxes. Come on. The mailbox. Yeah. It sounds like a great opening to something, I think.
There it
yes,
is.
Exactly. Yes, Nancy. Yes. We can move things around. That's okay. Yeah. She's walking very slowly. She's getting there. Yeah.
Kat, obviously the Way Hot Wedding was huge for the finale. Do you have a favorite memory from filming that and what that day was like?
I just remember, it was beautiful, and we were all together. I remember the moment that I couldn't get through was when we came outside. We were looking at the amazing set that they had curated, and there was the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
With all the characters. I was just like, oh my God. That was the moment where I was like, fuck, this is so, all those memories just came back, and you think about all those actors and all those characters and all the people and all the work and the triumphs and the struggles and all of it in that moment. I was just like, oh. But we had so much fun. We got to celebrate, and I remember Dom saying, Waverly would be so happy. This is exactly what Waverly, and we had talked about this. Yeah, and it was perfect. It was perfect, and I love that we all got to be there. It felt like a party. It felt we were all there, and you were there, and it just felt like we were actually having this celebration, and you fall in love with these characters and these people, and they're a part of your soul, and you just want them to be happy, and it was perfect. Yeah.
And the crew dressed up.
And the crew were dressed up.
Oh, that
That's
was so
right.
cute.
They dressed up. Yeah.
It was bigger than it was
bigger than the show. It was
It was all of us. It was the family of the crew as well. Even
so cute.
they were in the wedding
They
without
were in the wedding.
being in the wedding. Yeah.
That's right. I remember that, Melanie.
Yeah.
You're so right. Yeah, they dressed up.
Kat, was that the last scene you filmed? Or, yeah.
No. The last scene we filmed 4/12 first, actually.
Oh.
No. The last scene that Varun and I both had the same last scene together. It was in the bar. We were all sitting around the ring of the bar. And
Was it Let's Go Film a Wedding?
Let's go get
have a
married
wedding,
or have a wedding. Yeah, that was the last scene for Varun and I. So yeah, and that was perfect because I was just so hoping it was going to be with everybody, you know? Yeah. And I remember walking that day. I remember walking. I'm a very much more emotional person now that I've had a kid. I remember you were there, and I remember walking. I walked the same. Jesus Christ! I walked the same blocking that I had in that first scene. I walked through Shorty's, and I did the same blocking. What? Who is this person?
Second one, it's out of control.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, excuse me. I don't mean to be indulgent. I just remember walking the same blocking of the first scene that I shot in the show and just being so grateful. I was just so grateful that I got to be part of it. You said earlier, Mel, you're if this is it, then I will take this so gratefully. And I just remember walking that blocking and standing there and doing the thing and looking at the bar. Sorry, what am I doing? Let's have a great day. I just remember that. I love you.
Can we get a lesbian with some Kleenex up here?
No,
Can
it's
we
there it is. I had a moment. It's
Thank
Sunday.
you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Or we'll take a bisexual. We don't care. Just, we could get some Kleenex. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. That was very indulgent.
It was not indulgent.
It wasn't
I'm saying that
indulgent.
because I do it 10 times a day, so it can't be indulgent.
It's just
Normalize crying on panels.
And in meet and greets. And in meet and greets. Yeah.
It's the 9 a.m. Let's all leave to start the day panel.
Yeah. Feeling.
Mel and Tim, how was it filming the final scene where you guys kind of drive off together? How was it doing that? There's literally no way to not cry at this panel, so we gotta keep going.
I can't talk about it.
Did you guys rehearse it at all or no? Just went right in.
The drive away itself was easier because we didn't have to do as much. As in, I think, well, I'll speak for myself, but it was a sunny day and the crew, like we just loved each other so much and it was a happy scene. I remember you were planning you were gonna see your son. Like, it was just like we were gonna see our families. We were gonna see each other soon, so it felt okay. And it felt happy because it was a journey to somewhere happy. But yeah, like the car scene with the speech was unbearable. Like, it was like I still get, well, and now I'm emotional because Kat got emotional. But like I still can't, like I couldn't, like I wasn't being dramatic. You couldn't say those words in rehearsal because I would have I couldn't do it. So thanks. And then when you did it, it was just, it was just so good.
Yeah. Same, like the motorcycle stuff, I just remember being kind of fun. We're just on a giant motorcycle flying around. Everybody was there. It's like you knew, but it was kind of fun. We had that other stuff kind of before. And it's weird because you said it was easy to write because in some ways that was like easy to do. I wasn't, we didn't think about it. We knew already. And I waited 5 years, 4 seasons for that character to have that. He earned that. Like, fuck.
That's why it's like season 3. Yeah.
So, that was like, so we kind of did our goodbyes. And then we get back together. So then I was happy. You know? I was like, then we're leaving, but we're back together on this, you know what I mean? So I was like happy. Yeah.
Do you guys have a scene, Kat, we can start with you, from, or Emily. We can start with Emily.
No. She'll talk too much.
We'll ease into this question. It'll be the last one, so we'll take our time.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
Mel.
Emily, do you have a scene you're most proud of writing?
Of writing?
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick a scene. I'm so proud. I'm proud of lots of it. Like, honestly, I'll just say it now, whatever. There's lots of it I would do differently too, though. You know, like there's something in every episode I'm like, oh, I wish I'd written that better, or paste it down, or whatever. I really, every season, I'll just go through the season super fast. Season 1, like, was such a weird little troll baby, and there's so much, like, I just love the introduction of Doc Holliday. I think it's so sexy and fun, and I love the turn that Willa is alive, and then she's with Bobo, and I love the bulletproof vest. It's probably one of my favorite things. Yeah. I love the scene in Shorties where Way Hot meets, but that's also an example for me where like it's good on the page, but like you just watch the cast and you're like, holy fuck, it's so good. Like it's just so much better, you know? Yeah. Season 2, like just like has my heart because we did it, and like it was so scary, right? It was so scary, and then like. But in a way too, like it's like being on the Titanic and you're like, there's a baby coming out of someone's probably vagina. I don't want to say whose. At this point, we have got to get done, and someone is having a baby. I'm so proud, in a weird way, that Winona and Doc had a normal baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of glad that it was just a beautiful baby, and it wasn't a supernatural baby. I'm glad we made the choice that they gave it up. I think lots of people make that choice, and it's a difficult choice, and that story is sort of told sadly, and it was sort of sad, but it was also sort of such a beautiful, selfless choice. I love that episode. I just love it. There's so many moments in that episode I love. And because we got to do it for Mel. Like, we got to do it for Mel. That was so important. Like, that was amazing. I know, sorry, that was just like such a gift. And like, I know I say it, but like, I just cannot describe to you what it is like watching an 8-month pregnant woman in the freezing cold do stunts. Like, and just like never complain. Never complain.
Well, because I can't tell you how grateful I am to be allowed to do that.
I know. Oh. Yeah. Like, season 3 is like funky and weird, but there's so many hilarious episodes in it. Like, you know, Danny Kine shows up, and yeah, Doc has this kind of like awful story, but like I knew the redemption was gonna be sweet for him, right? Like I knew it. Like, I know. You gotta trust me, baby. And Waverly going in the garden, like all that sacrifice was amazing, and then season 4, oh man, you guys fought so hard for it. But that's scary too, because you're like, man, they fought for this. This better be fucking good. Right? So thank you for showing up, you guys. Yeah, it was such a joyful time. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I promise to stop talking. Thank you.
Kat, do you have a favorite scene or one you're most proud of when you look back?
Oh my God. I mean,
You just got better and better. You did amazing work in season.
oh, well, thanks for saying that. Like, there's so many layers of that question, which is so crazy. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
that's why I wouldn't shut up.
what's that?
That's why I wouldn't shut up. I just
Yeah, like there's so many. I'm like, I'm so proud of the whole thing. I'm so proud of the Way Hot stuff. I'm so proud of, like, we've watched representation improve monumentally, I think, since Winona Earp first aired to where we are now. And I know that Winona was a massive part of it. Like, I know it. I'm proud of all of that. But I'm so proud of, like, the way that the show can vacillate from, like, you know, these beautiful, tender love scenes, and then we're going and, like, chasing down gnomes, like, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm proud of being a part of something that was so groundbreakingly perfect, and I pinch myself every day that I got to be, like, a tiny part of that, and God, this is such a hard question. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm proud of just how, like, in this world, everything was so grounded and felt so, like, real, even though we were doing crazy stuff. And,
I know.
like, a particular scene, I don't know. I really don't know. It's so hard to answer that. I really don't know. Like, I'm proud of everything. I'm proud of, like, the obvious big moment scenes. Like, I'm proud of the engagement scene. I'm proud of the wedding. I'm proud of the stair scene. I'm proud of the yeah, man. Like, I'm really freaking proud of that. I know it's like, whoa, the stair, but I'm really proud of, like, how beautiful it was, and, like, that was so important to us, and it came out so exactly how we were hoping. And I'm proud of the journey of Why Not. Like, I'm really proud to see these two, like, the journey of those characters, to see these two people that, like, could not have been more different end up being, like, another version of the loves of each other's lives. And, like, I don't know. I could like sit here for 17 hours and talk about what I'm proud of, but I'm just, as a whole, I'm proud of being full. Do it!
Stop the clock. Stop the clock.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I'll stop talking, but I'm just, like, the whole show is, and there's nothing like stepping outside of it and then reflecting back to be like, God, that was so special and so unique. I'm just proud to have been a part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Tim, do you want to cry next, or do you need a break?
Well, are we not calling vaginas pissies now?
No, we are. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You
I'm
guys
so
keep
sorry.
saying vaginas.
I
and
know.
I'm like,
I'm so
Come
sorry.
on.
we made progress.
Yes.
And-
No. Yes, please.
Okay. It's so tough to answer that question. And it's kind of like we just touched on it. It's like, for me, Doc is not one scene. It's just where we're at. It's a gift of gifts. I can't. I'm in debt forever. And you know it. Like, you knew, and I didn't, which makes it even more, you knew I'd be here like this now. Yeah, there's just so many, and we went through so much stuff together too. There's so many. I'll say this, because I do watch the show, which is crazy. Varun's last scene, I thought he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And I remember being really proud and of Jeremy's arc and what Varun brought to it. And I remember calling him, and I was like, dude, you killed it, man. Like, that was the other part when I would, because we don't always see what other people are doing, and you guys did so much good shit sometimes that I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So yeah, I think I'm most proud of watching my friends just really kill it up there. So,
I'm gonna start. What? You good? You good? I'm gonna cry. Well, thank you guys so much for coming this morning. This was so much fun. Have a
Thank you so
great
much.
rest of your day. Thank you guys.